But it's time to put this thing back together. It has been a year. So today I've decided that I really want to get back into it. Last night I spent hours and hours just tinkering with the motor and putting the wiring harness back on and rewiring some things and just everything that's easy to do outside the car I did. So today, me and the girl, we're just going to test fit some things. So we're doing the Astra electric power steering, which is pretty common on these Barras and most people who do hot rod stuff and race cars. First off, I need to put the engine in and find out where I can put the bracket for the power steering pump where it's not going to get in the way of everything else. So it's going to be a lot of me just putting the engine in and out, finding where I can put that bracket, finding where I can run my wires, and just fiddling with things. Hopefully we can then get the clutch on, put the motor in finally, have the engine base sorted, everything ready to get plumbed. And yeah, just work from there and find the next thing. We've got the fuel system, everything to go in as well, and then a whole bunch of body work to be done, get the new wrap on, finally make it look as good as it's actually going to drive. Right, so we got the motor in and I think I've worked out roughly where I'm going to have this. So I still want to use the factory power steering line, which I know I've been told you can't really do, but I think I'm going to be able to do it. And if not, I'll just make another line in the future. But I think this is going to be the spot where the battery used to be. It takes away my appearance of the engine bay. I really wanted to keep all this clean, but I don't know where else to put this. I don't really have many other options. Because I want to keep it with its aircon and heater and whatnot, I don't have too many options. So I'm thinking if I cut this bracket down and then weld it in a way I can bolt it onto there and put that there, my factory line will run to there. I can get the other line to run to there. And that clears everything under the engine bay. And that will go to the radiator. Boom, radiator. There's a pipe that comes up through here. Should miss all that. It should be sweet if I put it there. Even if maybe I try and tuck it over a little bit more. We'll start with there. We'll do some cutting and grinding on this thing and we'll make that fit in that location. Right, so I have cut as much of this off as I think I need to and kind of smooth it off a bit. So I'm thinking if I put that or that, weld my tab on, cut that down and weld that tab on there. Bang, bang, like a factory job. Next thing we'll mark that up.
So we'll mark here. That'll be where we put that side of it. Gromit's new home. No doggy shit around here. It'll probably. Let's see if we got lucky. Pick 2 randoms here. There we go. Look at that, like a factory one. I know what everyone's going to be saying. Of course, you're going to put a holding part on your Ford. The only way to make it reliable. Probably right.
Probably not.
I didn't get 2 of the same sizes, but so this will annoy me at a later date. Who put this bloody bracket on?
You idiot.
Not even the same bolts. Look at that, it's fucking not going nowhere. This one. Look at that, with a bit of negotiation. This is from Aeroflow. This connects to a barb fitting. And from the barb fitting to AN6, I think, fitting. And then onto the thing. So hopefully that will work as a straight setup. Otherwise I might have to buy an elbow to make that work. If that screws onto there and that screws onto there, we can manipulate this. Hopefully a little bit. Something like that. Yeah. I'm just gonna get it like that.
Yeah, and then have a 90. Mm. And that's going to be the best.
Somewhere. Add a little bend into this thing to make it do its job. we could tap into here and put little things on it. Oh yeah.
Our meter will be sweet.
Right onto there.
Right, so now I have all that in place. It's all bolted in place. I've made up a line for the return, and I've still got the factory line, and I've just attached a fitting to it to be able to run it to the pump. Screwed all these off. I did a little bit of stuff last night off camera. Run the power wire and stuff for the starter motor. I've been messing around with the fuse box. I've relocated it down here. I'm just going to do a couple extensions of like the earth wire, and then extend a couple of the other cables to the alternator and whatnot. So that'll be today's agenda. I'll start getting that done, and then I'll move to removing the fuel lines out of the way. Right, back in the engine bay. Just tightening up all of this now. Putting all the fittings on. So this is an adapter. It adapts your Astra power steering pump to an AN fitting of your choice. You can, I think this one is a 6. You can go up to an 8, but you only need a 6. And this goes just straight into your power steering pump. Just get that out of the way. Make sure he's on there nice and snug. This one already tightened down off camera, but this is a barb fitting that then gives you an AN fitting as well. So this just attaches straight onto the barb. You tighten that on and it all locks in place and gives you a nice snug fitting. And then you can just attach, in my case I'm using an elbow, but say you wanted to run line off of it or whatever. Say you've got to want to put it somewhere else in the car, you want to run it down to the back or something like that, you can maybe connect it to a line. In my case, I've just got it up here in the engine bay. So I'll just attach this elbow to it, which then is just going to go here. So just so it locks in the position that I want it to lock in, I'll thread it onto here. Thread that onto there. Grab my 18, I'll snug that one on now. And then snug this guy here on. And just like that, it's all on. And basically it was the same with the return. I did this off camera because I got a bit cold last night and I couldn't be bothered setting it all up. So it's just the same thing. It's a barb fitting attachment to then go to your AN fittings, and then just a Teflon line for your return. Your high pressure line, you do need to make sure that this stuff is up to high pressure grade. In my case, because I've gone with the factory like setup hose already, I can pretty much guarantee that's not going to leak with those fittings. So now I'm pretty sure that the engine is going to clear all of this, which is why I'm going all ham on tying it up. I'll do all the brackets up on it. That's that, all in. Need to just run something down for this line down here to hold it in place. Man, we're good to go. Right, so now I've got the power steering out of the way, I'm on to doing the fuse box relocation. I just wanted this out of the engine bay. I just wanted the engine bay to look a little cleaner and just show that massive turbo and not show any plastic stuff. So I moved this. A lot of people buy brackets that move this. In my case, I've just bolted this to the actual rail and then just made my own little bracket attaching it, and
it is on there, it's not going anywhere. So far I've got the power wire going to it, and I've run the starter motor wire all the way through now to the other side. So now I'm just getting the earth point connected. So I'm just gonna drill a hole here and make a new earth point. And I just need to extend these wires. Right, so now they all strip down, I can attach new wires. Now I know most people say to solder these things. I don't have any solder at the moment, so I'm just going to connect these. And if they give me grief at a later date, then I will have to come back to this. But for now, just cut myself off what I kind of think I need. Because they're just earth connections, they're not really running any power or nothing like that. I'm not really overly concerned that they will come apart. Put my next one on. Make sure they're the same length. Do another one. I like to individually tape them first. Just make sure that no water can get in there, no moisture. Like a new one. Trim all these off of the same length. And connect this end on. Now this one, it's always best to put these on first. And I love to forget them. Get out of the way for a second. Get this in here. Put a new one of them to it. Out of the way. Put that back on there. Yeah, while we're here, I've noticed this is a little bit rough. Worse for wear. Right, at some point we're going to have to put some new connections on to go to the fog light. Awesome. Now, I'm going to attach that to there. I just need to find myself a screw. Just like factory. There's an earth point again. And I reckon that's pretty damn neat. Just hides in there, still open and shut it. Everything's nice and stable. That I need to extend, that's my boost sensor. Alright, so it is like 12:30 at night and 1 o'clock and days later after we started this project. I finally had to wait, basically. I ordered some more fittings so that I could actually run it through its cooler and everything properly, and it took forever. So the fittings have arrived and I've finally attached it into the cooling. So down here, I've just had to attach it onto there. Obviously I'm still just running a flimsy return line. I don't really care about it too much. But all that's all connected up, and I've jerried up this little sort of setup to run power to it so we can test it for any leaks and stuff. So let's see if it's got any leaks and see if we did a good job plumbing it up. It'll be a first if it doesn't leak. Right, I've got my little jerry rig fucking set up to run some power through it. It's going to take a little bit to wind up because I don't have it set up through a resistor and stuff properly, but it does wind up and we can test it for leaks. So let's see how we go. Oops. Give it a second. Oops, she's winding up.
Jet's gonna take off soon.
Winds up about as fast as the turbo's going, I think. Ooh, there's air coming out.
Bubbles, yeah. Literally like a plane waiting for takeoff.
We nearly got boost. We nearly got boost. We got boost!
It's literally so light.
And so far we got no leaks. How good's that? No leaks, nothing. Fuck yeah. That'd be beast. Looks ugly as shit, but makes a huge difference.
Little jet plane.
Little jet. Alright, now this is all completed and we have no leaks and the whole system has been bled. This side of the episode of this build is done. So follow for the next one. I think the next step will be putting the motor in and then chucking all the fuel system in and stuff, and then we'll go to gearbox and things like that. We'll do it step by step.
I'm gonna put the clutch in too.
See you on the next one, mate.
Ow!